of the CPL King of the Tier tournament. Yeah, as I said, sponsored by CPL, graciously organized by Specialist, and also managed by Queen. With me, like, I'm Kazuiii from team Operation Decision, and with me, assistant coach of Passion Daddy's father. How's it going, father?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me on here. Looking forward to casting some sweet finals games.
Yeah, I'm also really excited. We're gonna start with tier 3, and we have Revo Sepp, I'm just gonna say Revo, from Samyang Fire against Kos from Team Socialized Healthcare, both Zergs. And let's go ahead and check out how their path through these brackets went. I have a picture here showing Kos starting in round 1, beating QuakeCom, then Chess C, then actually losing to Revo, and then winning against Revo again in the winner brackets finals, and then meeting him at the end at the finals, whereas Kos got sent down to the losers brackets in that game by Revo, as I just mentioned, and then he only had to beat West Coast Marine to come back to the finals again. But I think there was some sort of walkover or something. Yeah, pretty quick way actually. Both stayed on the winner brackets for most of the time. And yeah, I think we can just go in with game 1.
Awesome.
And the maps are particularly interesting this time. It's Polypoid, Neo Silph.
New rubber map.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so we have on the what's this, 5 o'clock blue Revel Sepp, and white Kos on 7 o'clock ZVZ, as I already mentioned. What do you think? Do you like this matchup?
Yeah, people seem to hate on ZVZ a lot, but I enjoy it quite a bit as a spectator, at least. Obviously, I haven't spent much time playing it as a Materan player. I imagine you might like it a little bit less if you had to play it every day, but as a spectator, I find it quite interesting. It's just such a tactics-heavy matchup. I always have an enjoyable time watching it, so I'm looking forward to these games.
Yeah, I agree with you. As a spectator, it's pretty good, but I'm a Zerg player and I'm not the biggest fan. It's a really punishing matchup.
Yep. We see that Kaz is going to get the correct first scout with his Overlord, which is always a nice little advantage to start out with.
Yeah, although Kaz is not like sending the Overlord to the right direction, because you should try to get the... No, wait, actually he is. Never mind. I haven't played this map.
Yep, and it looks like Buzz is going for the 9 pool as well. So starting out a little bit more aggressively and combined with that first scout gives him the opportunity to put on some pressure. Looks like it's going to be gas.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to get first, Link Speed or the Lair.
Yeah.
Revo went for a pool on 10, I think. Or 11 pool.
Okay, so it looks like he should be in a pretty solid spot here. He's not going to just immediately die unless there's some serious miscontrol, it looks like.
Yeah, interesting build for sure. Let's see how this plays out. I mean, he has the better drone count now. He is on 10 drones.
Yep, but earlier gas for Kaz, so there's always some give and take in this matchup. You can't have everything.
Yeah, definitely. The interesting part is going to be what he spends those first 100 gas on. He has them now, so let's see if it's going to be speed.
Yes, it will be speed. So he's looking to get some damage done with these first things, and he's going to try and make this turn into a bigger advantage in the mid game. But like I said, Deb didn't go for that 12 hatch, so he's not immediately dead. He does have an opportunity to defend against.
He is getting a hatch in base though, so if he manages to survive that, he's going to have the lava advantage. So we'll see.
Yeah. And we're sending our Lings north. We just now see that this spawn is in the bottom right, so we correct our path, but the Lings are already somewhat out of position. But Blue's Lings are already getting on the map too. He might get caught off guard here.
Yeah, we can see that Revo is getting speed as well and has stopped mining gas. Oh no, wait, now he started again. And he's going aggressively towards Kos. Let's see how this plays out.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kos smartly going back, trying to hold on the ramp, positioning his
Yep.
links. Revo
Not
being
much
careful.
chance to break here.
Yeah, he knows he needs more links. And they're coming out. He's producing links non-stop.
But we already have a sunken colony going up in the main of Kaz, so he'll probably be safe for this from this ling pressure.
Yeah, I think so. He's also getting lair. He's getting another creep colony, actually, trying to be extra safe. I mean, he has this cloud, his overlord is on his base.
Yeah, so his lair is about 50% ahead of his opponents, but he's only on one hatchery still, and his lings aren't trading as effectively as they could be here. Lings are going to break into the main base, but he's going to see that there's a sunken colony here, so not much chance to do big damage.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like he's
mean,
diving.
he's not producing anything right now. He's now getting some extra links. And more Zerglings are flooding in from Revel's base, so I don't know. And now he's producing some links. He's getting the Spire, he's gonna have it earlier, so I think Revo has to do at least something with all these links he got.
Yeah, definitely a wasted potential here. We also have an AFK drone for Kaz on the mining on the gas, or
Oh,
not
yeah.
mining on the gas, I should say. So that's going to be doing a huge amount of economic damage to him. It looks like he fixed it now. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of lost mining time. And in a matchup where you're only playing with 9 or 10 drones, that is a significant hindrance to your economy.
Yeah, and he's getting another creep colony, another sunken, so he's trying to be really safe here.
Yeah, non-stop lanes coming in from blue though, and it looks like he might just have enough to overwhelm the white Zerg player here. He's going for the engagement now. Link's trading favorably, but 2 sunkens, 3 sunkens. There's just no way to break that with.
Looks pretty hard, and if he pulls those drones, it's gonna be even harder. He's getting his Spire though, so he's not like completely all in.
But 3 more sets of Lings. I mean, it's not completely all in, but he's certainly not trying to play for a super late game here with this strat.
Yeah, I mean, his gas account is really low. He's like 200 gas. Meanwhile, Spire is already finished for cost. He's getting 3 mutas.
Alright, this might be the final engagement, but there's just not enough Lings here. Well, I say that one sunk goes down. How is the drone drill? It's pretty good. A lot of the Zerglings getting interrupted, and they have to back off.
Yeah, mutas are about to hatch any second now, so
We have a brave drone though going out to fight the Lings, and so that's an extra piece of damage we didn't have to take there. But mutas are out on the map now.
and he's beelining for the main.
Beeline for the other main. I like it.
While more links are flooding in. Yes, he's confident in those 2 sunks.
Yeah, his SimCity is set up so he can drill pretty effectively. So he thinks he has enough, and he's just going straight across with the mutas, and there's nothing here to defend against these mutalisks.
Yeah.
Instantly, we see 5 Scourge getting started,
It's gonna be
but
too late.
the drones are already getting massive.
Yeah.
The damage has been done already.
Yeah, this looks grim. He's going for his last link push.
This is his last chance to get anything done, but as long as these mutalisks are in the sky, there's no way that the Lings can take care of every single drone in building. So
Yeah.
it looks like our white Zerg player, Kaz, might be going up 1-0 in this series.
A lot of Scourge hunting those 3 mutas,
But 0 drones and not enough minerals to make another one.
yeah, last ditch effort, and GG well played.
GG.
Nicely done.
Yeah, really solid from both players. We saw Revo decided to go all in with that link strat off 2 hatcheries, but good defense from Kaz, and he was able to utilize his tech advantage to win up the game straight up.
Yeah, and good micro. You know, he pulled those drones. He was calm. He actually got this extra sunk, went safe. Good strategical choices from him, I would say. So game number 2 is gonna be a Neo Sylphid.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's go. Let's see if Revo can get one going to a game 3. Didn't look, you know, it looked really even to be honest. So it could go either way. And we have.
All right, starting in the mid left position, we have our white Zerg player Kaz. And in the bottom right, we have the navy blue Zerg. It is Revodeb. If I say that?
Revo's Deb. I'm just gonna say Revo. Revo and Kaz.
You're Revo now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
see.
once again, Kaz gets the correct Overlord positioning, so he's going to be able to get that first scout off, which is really invaluable in Zerg versus Zerg. That Overlord just gets to sit there until mutas are out and scouts every single thing you're doing, so lots of free information.
I agree. It's way harder to play this matchup if you're in the dark for like the first half of the game.
And we saw that he used that scouting information quite well last game. He got to see all the lings that were getting produced off that 2 hatcheries. So he went up to 3 sunks, and if he had only had 2, he might have just died there straight up. So he, Kaz was definitely using the scouting information to the.
Definitely, that looked really well done. Like the decision making, I'm impressed. I might have died to that, you know.
Yeah, looks like neither player opting for a 9 pool. Okay, we got overpool coming out of Revo, and it looks like we're going for 12 hatch from Kaz. Or no, just 12 pool. So even safer.
Definitely a safe decision on this map. The 3-player map, so you know you go like 12 hatch. Would be dangerous against the 9 pool.
Right. So this should give Kaz a slight advantage, if I'm not mistaken. He delayed his pool a little bit, but his gas timing is pretty comparable, and he'll just have a little bit of a drone advantage for the foreseeable.
Yeah, he's 1 drone ahead. Let's see if he decides to get another hatch with that. Like Revo is, for example, Revo is on 300 minerals right now, so I think he's going to get another in-base hatch.
Yeah, I like this strategy quite a bit, actually. Just going to be able to produce quite a bit of lings if he wants to. He'll be able to mix in some drones, just having that nice larva advantage while not risking too much at your natural. Looks like Kaz has enough minerals as well. He's going to throw down a looks like a creep colony for now.
Yeah, probably something preemptive. I mean, he doesn't have the scout information yet, but maybe he expects the same thing again.
Yeah, and then his second hatchery going down in the main base as well. So Kaz playing a little bit safe. He's going to lose a little bit of mining that wasn't necessary, but in Zerg versus Zerg, it's such a dynamic matchup that anything that prevents you from immediately dying will give you opportunities to come back later, even if it puts you a little bit economically behind. So I like that.
Yeah, although of course he's going to have the hatch a little bit later. I don't know if it's going to be a big difference, but we can see that Revo is producing a lot of links right now, and I think he's going to try something.
We have Revo going for link speed while Kaz is going for that lair. So we see how the players differentiate in their use of their first 100 gas. So we're going to see a little bit of divergence here, and we'll see how these two builds match up against each other. It's really just a battle of tactics and micro at this.
Yeah, but of course Revo is now again in a situation where he needs to do some damage with those links. He's down to
right. And once again, it looks like Kaz doesn't have the perfect concave at his that's not even a ramp, but between his main and his nat, his lings weren't quite lined up right. So some of Revo's were able to 2v1 his lings, which is the opposite of what you want to happen. But for now, he has to back off now that he sees that sunken colony. And the second creep colony has gone up just in preparation in case he sees a big flood of lings come out from Revo. And the spider's going down. So once again, small tech advantage for Kaz. We'll see how this matches up against the heavier ling count from Revo.
Yeah, he is producing drones now, so I think he's not going to try to overwhelm these 2 sunks. And the Spire, of course, going to be earlier again. But not by very much, it's like 200 HP.
Yeah, which is a little bit surprising. It seemed like his lair was started quite a bit sooner than his opponents, but maybe I was wrong on that.
I think he just got the panic extra sunk, which put him behind the minerals.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, but we see, even though these builds diverge somewhat, we're still getting back to a somewhat similar mid game. It's going to be lings and it's going to be mutas. There's no way around. But we see a big drone cycle come out of Revo. So for the time being, he's going to take a strong economic lead against his opponent. And his opponent doesn't really have the lings to counteract that. His advantage is in his tech, but that advantage is like half a spire's worth of building time. So right now it looks like Revo's in a pretty strong spot. He hasn't had to commit to making those sunkens. Sure, he's made a couple more lings than his opponent, but when you don't have to build sunks, that kind of pays for itself anyways.
Absolutely, and you can see that he Kaz is not actually using his lava for a while. Like right now he's using them, but he hasn't used them for a while. He's getting Mutus and Scourge right now. No, only Mutus and a couple of links. But
Yep. So for the time being, Kaz is going to have the air superiority. He's going to be able to take out these overlords and deny some vision. But I really like this play. We see a secret hatchery going up at the 1 o'clock position from Revo. So it looks like he's going to try and use this advantage that he has and multiply it a little bit by trying to throw his opponent off. We'll see if his opponent is able to accurately scout that there are things missing here. Because obviously a hatchery costs 300 minerals and it costs a drone. So if Kaz is really on top of his game, he might be able to detect this. And if he does, he'll be able to punish very hard. But even in a matchup where it's a mirror matchup and you can just compare your opponent's build to your build, it's still quite hard to deduce things like this with the limited information you have. So we'll see how good Kaz's powers of inference are. Looks like, okay, he's going to get that Overlord, which is great. But here comes a huge wave of Scourge coming out of Revo. And if Kaz gets caught off guard here, he could lose all of his Mutalisks.
Yeah, we can see Revo opting for those mass Scourge, while Kaz has only... Let's see how his Muta micro plays out. He tries.
That was a good shot, though.
Yeah, and also I think like 3 or 4 Scourge flew into one single Muta, so that was not ideal for Revo.
So, one Muta went down and one is heavily damaged, but that was 3 or 4 sets of Scourge, I want to say. So both players trading somewhat effectively. It wasn't a complete disaster from either side.
Definitely. Meanwhile, he's
sharking around with the Mutas looking for stray hits here and there. We see more link streaming across the map. A couple of Revo's Mutas get caught off guard here, and it looks like one may end up going down for it.
And he's chasing the others. The last one, actually.
Quite good control.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good. The base is up, meanwhile. He isn't doing anything with it yet.
And all 3 Wyver are there. I'm interested to see what he decides to... Okay, he's going for drones. And it looks like he's just going to use this as kind of a second gas, which is under...
We saw another attempt at the Ling attack, but 3 Sunkens, no, 2 Sunkens actually, and Revo just went back again.
But Kaz decided to go for a commitment with his Muta attack here, so he's going to trade his Mutas against his opponent, but it looks like with these Mutas that continue to spawn from Revo, he's going to be able to win this fight once this next wave of units spawn. Quite good Muta micro, though, pulling back that one damaged one, so now it's just a one.
Another one coming in, he's going to try to snipe a drone or 2, but I don't think he's going to do much damage. You can see...
Okay,
never mind.
2 more Scourge will be popping out momentarily. But the drones are already on the run, so this is quite a bit of economic damage. And a 3rd Mutalisk coming to join up. But nice connection there, takes out a Mutalisk.
He's hunting those drones.
Denied quite a bit of mining time, but I don't think he actually got any drone kills there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
I think he got like 2.
Okay, and another Mutalisk goes down, so both players trading quite heavily. We'll see if this the second Gas Geyser ends up helping Revo secure his position in this game.
Yeah, I mean, this base is paying off already. He's got like 5 drones there. He's on 21 drones right now, so...
Yeah, a huge economic lead right now, certainly. But since their supplies are so... Well, they were similar until that next round of Mutas came in. So now Kaz, there's quite a bit of pressure on him to do something here, but I don't know if he's even aware of it, because he doesn't know about the space up to the north, so he might think he's in a better position than he is.
He's so close to actually seeing it if you hide Revo's vision.
And he actually catches those 2 drones transferring, and he should know that those were mineral watch drones, so he might be somewhat suspicious, thinking that those drones are getting transferred to mines somewhere. I'm a little bit surprised that Revo was so out in the open with his drones like that. Transferring them right in the face of his opponent was a little bit risky. We'll see if White catches on.
He's looking for it right now. He's sending links out to the wrong base. He's so close to finding it.
And he's going to take his own natural expansion at this time.
Yeah, good call. I mean, you can't stay on one base forever.
Man, this is so unfortunate. He keeps just barely missing this. Like that Overlord that's in the 12 o'clock base just barely missed those 2 Scourge that were transferring. So he's gotten very close to seeing this base several times now. But it may be too late. It looks like White already has... it looks like Revo already has a higher lane count, more Mutas, more Scourge. So even if he does find this space, he may be not able to even punish it at this point. And with that drone getting denied at the natural, it's looking more and more desperate for Kaz.
I mean, he still has 7 mutas. Like, if he controls it well, maybe he can do something. But
That was not optimal. He stopped his mutas there. It looks like there's going to be a minimum of several muta interceptions or Scourge interceptions. But pretty good control.
Trying to get away.
Okay, it looks like he wants to take the engagement with the Lynx here, which is good because he has the Ling advantage. So Revo is definitely going to take that battle on the ground. Now he just has to win the air battle. Okay, pretty good. The Scourge actually, it seems like they all intercept on one Mutalisk, so it was a strong trade for Kaz.
But the extra economy already kicking in. He's getting so many new mutas. It's 4 versus 5 right now.
Yeah, and no muta upgrades for either player either, so it's just coming down to pure muta count here. But once again, Revo takes a fight with his mutas where he's disadvantaged, so his economic advantage really isn't getting used the way it could if he was taking better engagements here.
Meanwhile,
looks like these 3 mutas might be intercepted.
There's going to be a Link counter attack at Revo's main. Let's see if we can do something.
Wow, and there's no Sunkens here to defend. Did Kaz just find the one opening that's going to allow him to win this game? Even with the larger army advantage and the better economic advantage, he just got out-tacticked there. He lost all of the drones in his main now. His huge economic advantage is getting disintegrated, but the mutas come back now, and all the mutas for Kaz look like they're getting evaporated. He has to turn away and run now.
And he didn't really do much with the Lynx. He tried to kill the hatchery, which is only on half HP. I mean, he got a lot of drones, but losing all the mutas and all the Lynx, I don't know if it was worth it, because now there's...
Yeah, he evened up the economy somewhat, but there are now 2 hidden bases out on the map, so even with that economic kind of... He evened up things economically somewhat, but it's just getting worse as time goes on, really, so it may have just been a temporary solution. And the muta count for Revo is just getting absolutely out of control here.
Damn, losing off 4 hatches.
7 mutas versus 4, and 2 of those 4 mutas are quite injured, so it looks like Revo is going to end up taking this game. There's really not enough gas coming out of... Oh yeah, even targeting down the Sunks so that Lynx can come in and assist. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, at this point, Revo can do whatever he wants.
Yep, 3 bases up against 1.
And they are both barely scouted, only if you actually check the Fog of War. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be the last battle before there's nothing left for Kaz anymore.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the air battle is what really matters, and he just can't keep up with that muta production, so GG.
Yeah, GG.
We're going to...
Well played, and also very sneaky, you know?
Yeah, I really like those hidden expansions, but I have to say, Kaz almost brought it back at the end there. If he was able to be a little bit more effective with his targeting on his Lings and had gotten a handful of more drones and escaped with his Mutalisks, he may have been able to claw his way back into that game. But that hidden expansion was really a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's, you know, I think at that position, Revo was a little bit behind, and you know, when you're behind, you need to do risky plays to get ahead. So
definitely
good call. So let's go into game number 3. It's gonna be on Circuit Breakers. Let's see who's gonna become king of Tier 3.
Yes, quite the prestigious title. We have, up in the top left, we have the yellow Zerg player. It is Kaz. And spawning in the top right of Circuit Breakers, it is the red Zerg, Revo. Man, Revo really cannot catch a break here with these first scouts. Every single game, Kaz has gotten the first scout correctly, and Revo has gotten it incorrectly. But, oh, I thought it was going to be a Forkful. Just a little bit delayed on that first drone.
Yeah, although this time Revo is actually scouting the correct path, even though he's not going to find it. While
correct and correct from his position of not knowing where the spawns are, but incorrect in the cosmic sense of scouting the wrong.
Yeah, so let's see what builds they're going to choose this time. 4-player map now, so might opt for something more economic than 9-pool.
Looks like it. We got an Overlord coming out of Revo, and
9-pool from Kaz.
Looks like we might be saving up for a pool.
Or a hatch. We'll see.
Yeah,
Looks like
Actually, yeah, I'm not a Zerg player myself, but I have been hearing Zerg players talk about things like 11 hatch or 10 hatch or even 9 hatch.
yeah,
And Zerg versus Zerg
10 hatch
are
is a
interesting.
strong build, definitely. Like it's just
Yeah.
a Ling all in. If you catch your opponent off guard, you just win. It's not very micro heavy, you know, you don't need to do any muta micro.
Oh, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
especially
so
tier 3, you know, it's not a bad call to do something like that.
so once again, Revo taking a little bit more of an economic opening, getting an extra drone before throwing down that pool.
Yeah, Cause going for the fast gas as usual. And he's gonna scout, of course, the base, so early links are gonna arrive as fast as possible at Revo's base. Which, you know,
Sets to commit to 3 sets to begin with.
yeah, like when you play a 9 pool on a 4-player map, this is like one of the biggest things, you know, finding the base as quickly as possible, because, you know, every second matters if you played something more economical.
And he gets his first 100 gas. We'll see. Yep, it's going right into Ling speed. So he's going to try and do some early damage with these Zerglings. We'll see how much he's able to get done. Unfortunately, his opponent isn't going for something super greedy. Also, we have a second hatchery coming out of Revo, so he's not trying to take his natural expansion anytime soon.
Yeah, so let's see if we can do anything with those links. They're gonna be arriving just as Revo's links pop.
Yeah, and Revo didn't go for any drones with that initial larva set. He went for all 3 sets of lings, but now he's starting to drone up, and Kaz is fully committed to this ling attack. Good trades from Kaz so far. Revo engaging with just a couple of his lings at a time, so Kaz was able to gang up with his lings and take down 2 for free. Now Revo is definitely on the back foot a little bit. He has to play quite defensive here.
Yeah, he's getting speed as well, but of course...
one drone goes down.
Oh.
That's big, that's big. And now these lings are trading totally inefficiently. These lings from Kaz have gotten quite a bit of value already, and speed is kicking in. So now he has a huge timing window to do damage with these lings. Speed lings versus slow lings is not even close. Yeah. 2 more drones going down.
Really good link control by Kaz.
Yeah, quite good. Oh, he's splitting up his lings now. He's really striking for drone kills. Oh my god, look at this. This is just a slaughter.
Oh my god.
Kaz is taking out drones left and right. Already has double the worker count. The damage has been done already.
And he's been droning up behind this, not getting any additional links.
Yeah, he got a creep colony. He's going for his lair. He's setting up for a perfect mid game. And now Revo is just going to have to counterattack and get something.
But another creep colony going down doesn't look too good. He's going to need a lot of links to kill this. If he wants to do something.
We're going to have a very, very small timing window here, but it might not even be existent at all.
But of course Revo is still doing the... I was gonna say the right decision, stop mining gas, going for links, but he's getting lair as well. He's trying for drone kills right now as well, but...
Yeah, he thinks if he can even things up on the worker count a little bit, he's not too far behind on the Spire timing, perhaps he can get something done. It's looking very grim for him right now. He needs something to go wrong for his opponent so he can come back here.
He's gonna need more links than that.
It's not what you want, though.
Yeah, and you can see Revo is just broke.
Yeah, but he's doing a decent job coming back in the worker count. At one point, there was a 6 worker differential, and now it's down to just 3. But still quite an advantage for Kaz. He has that worker advantage, he has the tech advantage.
Yeah.
Really, all things looking good for him. We see an Evo chamber coming out of our red player.
Yeah, he's realizing he's not going to be any time early enough, you know, with his own mutas. So
yeah.
He's going to need spores.
So, he's going to have to play defensively. Of course, I'm hoping that we see a Hydra Den go down, but that's unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, not with that tiny drone count. I mean, he's got it up now, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, one advantage he still has is the second hatchery. He has more lava. If he can stabilize, this is his ticket back into the game.
Spire, but he waited quite a time after the lair finish to throw down that Spire, so that lead that Kaz has on the tech is getting multiplied even more. And it looks like he wants to take an engagement with those lings, but smartly backs off for now. Both players playing quite safe.
Revo needs to put down a creep colony. Okay, he does it now because
Yeah, it's one in his mineral line. I wonder if that'll be enough though.
I don't know.
Still, if his opponent has good enough mutamicro, he's still going to be able to pick off drones for free without losing any mutas. One spore colony really does not have the DPS to keep up with that. So even just swinging in and getting 2 or 3 drone kills would just be brutal for Revo at this point.
Yeah, and you can see Revo's gas count is not that high, so it's gonna be hard to even catch up in the muta count, even if he holds this.
We'll see how the mutamicro is. So far, not optimal.
Three
Oh, this isn't good. The Spire is out of range of that spore colony, so we're going to be able to get free hits on that, and those glaives might even bounce and hit some drones at some point. Although, almost losing a Mutalisk. Oh, we got to be careful. We can't lose Mutalisk like that.
He's good at controlling though. He's sending it back with low HP. And this doesn't
Yeah,
look so good for the
Spire.
Spire.
They got the Spire for sure. There's no way those. Well, those Scourge are building as fast as they can, and that spore colony is oh, he's going to lose his second. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Spire goes down.
He's gonna get it. And now all he has to do is pull back, get an even bigger muta count, and then not even 2 spores can stop him.
Yeah, we need to see what the backup plan for Revo is at this point, but it looks like he's just going to try and rebuild that Spire.
And nothing else to do, honestly. And yeah, I mean, he lost a couple of mutas there at his attack, but he's rebuilding. He has 4 mutas right now, 2 more coming up. This is looking.
Yeah, we're going to get complete map control for Kaz, be able to take out these overlords, force all the Lings back into the main base. So Revo is just going to have no map presence here. He's just completely holed up on his main base. So pretty much whenever Kaz wants, he can go take his natural. He can just keep making mutas if he wants to. He can drone out. He can go for his +1 on his Mutalisks. He can really do whatever he wants at this point. So we'll see how he decides to take the rest of this game. Looks like he's going for some drone picks now, which I think is great. But he's got to be careful, getting completely surrounded by Scourge. Loses a Mutalisk for his efforts. That was a nice back shot, though.
And he's trying to snipe another Overlord. He's been supply blocking Revo for quite a while now.
Yeah, you can see the supply difference is just huge at this point. Nice back shots again. Kaz's Mutalisk control is really looking solid here. Nice.
Lost one.
Loses Mutalisk still, but still quite good.
Yeah, the Spire is finished.
Yeah, but we're going to lose our first Mutalisk again, and things are just completely falling apart here for Revo.
He's getting a lot of Scourge again, which didn't work out too well at his first try.
Kaz is just going for mass Lings here at this point. He thinks he can just close out the game with Ling Muta, and I think he might be right. No Sunkens remaining for Revo. All he has are, what, 6 Zerglings? And we're coming across the map here with, it looks like a full control group.
+5 in the base already.
Yeah. So it looks like Kaz thinks he smells blood in the water. He's going to try and end the game right now. Here come the Lings. We need to see some god-tier drone drills to hold this off.
I mean, the SimCity is not bad, but so many Lings.
Yeah, and the Lings from red just evaporate. GG, well played.
GG.
And Kaz, our tier 3 champion.
Congratulations to Kaz.
Yeah, congrats.
Excellent.
Micro is quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good. I mean, honestly, looked scary. Like I'm tier 2, and that looked pretty scary to me. Like I think I could have died.
I always get impressed when I see tier 3 and tier 2 players play. Obviously, their complete game isn't totally solid, but you see elements here and there that are actually quite strong. Some players really focus on their micro. Other players are really focused on their mechanics, but usually even these tier 3 and tier 2 players have an element of their game which is quite strong. So,
absolutely.
These games.
So now moving on to the tier 2, we have the finalists, specialists from Operation Indecision, and Stanel from Team Socialized Healthcare. Let's check out the brackets and their path. Let me see. Oh wait, this picture is not... something's wrong with my picture. Anyway, wait, let me just open it up. Specialist, I think, went started out playing against Kazuiii winning. You can see this on this picture here. Unfortunately, I can't fix it. Then beat TJ suited. Then he beat Stanel actually once. Sent him down to the losers brackets, and then he met him in the finals again. While Stanel got into the losers round of 4, beat TJ suited, and then Flola Riblere, only to meet Specialist again for his revenge match, you know. And both those players I know are Protoss, so we've got a PvP coming here.
Awesome.
And let's host this game up and see how it goes. I don't know much about PvP, you know, but definitely interesting to see. I mean, it's different from, you know, from CVZ.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about PvP myself, but I do know quite a bit about losing to Protoss, so I have some experience.
Yeah, me too, I
in a
guess.
similar.
All right, let's go. So, Polypoid, what do you think about this map?
I actually am a huge fan of this map, especially in Terran versus Protoss. I really love maps where Terran is able to take that mineral third base, that little kind of mini in-between base. It really helps me transition into the late game a lot better. Obviously, PvP, not a matchup that tends to go to the late game very often, but if it does start to get to that mid-game, late-game, late game, I expect those players will take advantage of that mineral-only third base to help boost them there. But we'll see if we even get there. In the top right, we have our yellow player going under the ID King of Tears. This is Specialist.
Yeah.
And in the top left, we have our red Protoss player. It is Stanel.
The idea, of course, to just show that he is the one who manages the tournament, you know?
Don't mess with him or else you're getting kicked from the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how he got into these finals, you know? So I don't know anything about PvP build orders, you know?
Yeah, I know a little bit just from hearing Protoss players talk here and there. Obviously, there's a lot of options you can go for. Some of the most kind of beginner basic builds tend to be like a 2-gate OBS or 3-gate OBS, and then use that position to take an expansion, go up to Reaver Tech, and just kind of play standard from there. But of course, Protoss is more than capable of going for some early aggression, maybe for a DT rush, maybe for proxy gateways. And maybe even a 12 Nexus. It looks like Stanel's saving up. He's not going for his gateway right away. So he may be going for a Nexus first, which, while it is quite a risky strategy, once you get that Nexus up, usually most Protoss players will go for a Forge and some cannons. So they find themselves quite safe if they're just able to secure that expansion. So we'll see how King of Tears, or I should say, we'll see how Specialist reacts to this. Like I said, 12 Nexus isn't ultra common, so we'll see if he has a response to this lined up or if he will possibly mismanage his reaction to it. Obviously, this gives you a huge economic advantage as the red player if he's able to hold it. But yeah, there's quite a large window of opportunity for yellow to do some damage in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting this first Zealot now. The Scout, of course, not immediately, so...
Yeah, he went for cross spawn first, and now he's going to scout it second. So his Zealot's going to go to the right location first. He'll be able to get a little bit of harassment done if he wants to, but he may just keep it at home as well. We'll see what his reaction is, really.
I mean, for me at least, it would seem tough, you know, if your opponent goes for a greedy opening, you feel like you need to do at least a little bit of pressure, you know, else you're just going to be behind. That's simple.
That's definitely, a lot of the times that's your first reaction, but there are some scenarios where you kind of get baited into an overreaction. But obviously, committing one Zealot to do harassment really isn't that much of an over compensation, I would say. But we do have 2 gateways finishing up for the red Protoss player here. So it looks like in response to this, Specialist just wants to take his own Nexus that is natural and just play with a small economic disadvantage, which is totally fine. Like there's so much StarCraft that still remains to be played in this game that taking a small worker deficit really isn't the end of the world. We see that Stanel already has his own Zealot out, so he's not going to be able to get a whole lot done with this. Maybe if he has some sick micro, we can get a couple probes. But as we transfer probes to the natural, it actually catches that Zealot for a moment. But 1 probe goes down, so that's good.
Second Zealot coming out right now. So that's it with the Harris. I mean, we can see that there's a little bit of a divergence in tech paths. Like Stanel got a Forge while Specialist got a quick Cybernetics.
Yeah, and we have the Citadel coming down for our yellow Protoss player. I'm and we have a proxy pylon in his opponent's main base. I really like this.
Sneaky.
It looks like he's going for a gateway here, and then he's going to make DTs. Maybe I'm hoping because okay, so like I said, with 12 Nexus, you usually typically follow it up with this Forge, which he got, and now he's going to put down some cannons to the main. This is because your Robo is so delayed that if your opponent goes DTs, you'll just have no detection and you'll instantly die. So you have to get cannons at the front. However, he doesn't usually get cannons in the main base. There's just really no need for that. So, but this gateway is going to get scouted. Stanley with the game sense odd. So, no go here. We'll just build one cannon in the main and be totally safe against this.
Or just move his Zealots back. But he wisely cancelled the gateway.
Yeah.
Not much point in it right now, so...
Yeah, and now I'm getting worried for yellow because, like I said, committing to this Citadel really doesn't accomplish anything. You can go DTs here, but there's going to be 2 cannons at the main, so hard to get any damage done with that. But regardless, he's still going for that Templar Archives. It makes sense. You've already committed to making the Citadel, so you might as well see it through. And his natural Nexus is done, so he has a 6 probe deficit. Obviously, it hurts, but it's not an insurmountable comeback that needs to be made here. If he still just plays calmly and solidly into the mid game, he could definitely win. And we see his opponent is making several cannons. Looks like he's made 2 and he's making just 1 more. So yeah, 3 cannons in total. So
that's a
yes. So yeah, he does have a small worker deficit, but he isn't investing into these cannons, so it may end up evening out. But as I say that, red is moving across the map. It's what, 6 Zealots and no goon, but just 6 Zealots. And all we have for the yellow Protoss player are 2 goons. So we're gonna see how good his micro is here. Wow. It looks like red doesn't want to get to it, which I think is a little bit surprising. Even though obviously Dragoons are ranged units and can just kind of kite the Zealots forever, the Zealots are so tanky that he can just like sick 1 or 2 of them on each Dragoon and then split the other ones off and go harass probes. And the other Zealots would buy him enough time to get probe kills, but he's just playing it quite safe, pulling back for now, which is totally fine. And it looks like we want to go for DT drops as the response here from our yellow Protoss player, which I think is quite strong. We're just going to try and circumvent the cannons at the natural, go for the main, but there is already 1 cannon there. So it looks like if we pull units back into the main for Stanel, there's just no way this DT drop is gonna do enough damage.
Yeah, I guess he's just feeling, some sort of extra cheesy play after finding that first proxy gate.
Yeah. And like you said, once you see that your opponent is going for a greedy build, you really feel the need to punish it. So he first went for the in-base gateway, that didn't work out. So his DT tech didn't really work out. But he's committed to making it work. So he got a Robo and he got himself a dropship. And you see, even if this DT drop doesn't kill many probes, the probe count is actually even now. So the economic advantage that Stanel had was somewhat mismanaged or just not completely capitalized on. Here comes the shuttle with the DT. Even if he can't get into the mineral line, the cannon doesn't provide a huge range of detection. And it looks like he's going to try and drop directly on the cannon and take it out. So with our Robo just finishing up now, just finished up now, so he doesn't even have an observatory. He's just going to target down the Robo. And I don't know if Red has any sort of response to this. He's just moving across the map for a counterattack now. But there's already 2 DTs on the hill here, ready for defense.
Looks like he's getting outplayed here. I mean, we saw Stanel's army moving back and forth, first trying to defend, then now again for the counterattack. He's lost a lot of time just moving around, being indecisive.
Yeah, 4 cannons coming up in the main base, but if these get targeted down, none of them will finish.
And you can see the counterattack here. He forgot his
that's good. And the DTs, the defensive DTs are totally AFK. They're not here doing any damage at all. So these Zealots are going to get into the mineral line and start wreaking havoc. He may even lose this Nexus.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, if those 2 DTs were back home right now, this army wouldn't stand a chance. But as it is, both players taking crippling damage right now. on the red side of the map, the observatory and the robo have gone down, as well as all the main cannons. So these DTs are completely unchecked. However, on the other side of the map, this army is going to end up killing this Nexus possibly, but getting blocked by DTs, so he may not be able to gain access to the main base. He's going to go all in on focusing this Nexus and try and use that as his opportunity to come back in the game.
I think he
Ooh, a
needs to
storm.
Oh wow. I think he needs to go up there though, because only killing this seems like it's not enough, considering that
He's losing so much of his main base right now. It looks like his cybernetics core is getting targeted. He can even go after these pylons powering the gateways if he wants to. The red player is completely holed up in his natural.
Yeah, and the worst part is he's going to lose all these gateways, or at least energy
Yeah,
on
Cyber goes down, the Citadel's about to fall. But we have the observatory just finishing up now. There's another Robo Bay and Sandals, Robotics and Sandals Natural. So he's going to be able to make an observer and eventually clear out
the
DTs. But the damage has really been done.
Yeah, but Stanley also is going for a hidden base now.
Yes, it seems to be the theme of the day today is the hidden bases. I love it. I'm always a fan of hidden bases.
And he already rebuilt the observatory. His first observer is coming out now, so he's eventually going to be able to clean up those 2 DTs with 9 and 6 kills.
Yeah, really interesting to see how this game is going to go from here. Despite how much catastrophic damage has been done on both sides of the map, if you look at the worker count, it's quite even. The supply count is quite even. So really the biggest difference here is that Red ended up losing most of his tech because it got targeted down by DTs. So his Citadel's gone, his Robo had to be rebuilt, and his Observatory had to be rebuilt. And also his Forge got taken out. So a couple of key tech buildings that our yellow Protoss player has over our red Protoss player. However, this base down in the bottom left might be the great equalizer in all of this.
Yeah, I think
looks like Red is trying to go for an engagement again, but fighting up against the high ground isn't the smartest idea. And DTs, when they're in this number and supported by this many other units, actually have quite a high DPS, so it may actually end up turning the tide of this battle. Zealots versus DTs with Zealot support is quite a bit of damage. So yeah, that all the red Zealots fall, and Red is forced to retreat back now.
Luckily, he has those cannons, so not like immediately.
Yeah, he'll be able to retreat to his defense, but he lost quite a bit of his army, and now Yellow is going to be able to take complete map control.
Oh, is he going for it?
Oh, but he's going into the cannons. Might lose a goon. 2 goons go down for that.
The thing is, this hidden base, not bad, but he could have just gotten the Nexus in his main again.
Yeah. The idea with the hidden base is that you're supposed to try and take an extra expansion that you don't have access to with the army that you have, but he has a free expansion in his main base you can take right now. But yeah, double Forge coming down there as well. So it looks like he's going to try and really go for a late game strategy here with this extra econ and the upgrade advantage. But we see that Yellow already has Storm and High Templar, so he can kind of just poke in here and harass this army nonstop with Storms. Red really can't come out and fight this. He doesn't have the army, so he has to back up. Storm's doing huge damage.
Yeah, pretty good Storm there. Was 4 cannons a little bit too much. He's building more and more though, so we can see a specialist's plan here. He's getting a 3rd base right now. I mean, he was pretty rich on 900 minerals just there.
Yeah, it looks like Stanley may have kind of leveled himself in a way with this hidden base. Like, there's just really, he's not gaining any advantage from this compared to just retaking his main base. Like, it's not even a situation where his opponent is scouting this and seeing there's no main base still. He's really just kind of tricking himself.
Yeah, even got 2 cannons there, which don't do anything right now.
Right, and if he made that in his main base, there's no need for cannons. But we're trying to take a position on the map, but we're just getting pushed back time and time again. Losing our Citadel was quite painful because now our Zealots are quite slow. No Zealot leg speed compared to the Zealot leg speed from Yellow. Really just everything looking good for Yellow right now.
And a 3rd base not scouted yet, I think. Yeah. So
and even if it is scouted, there's just nothing Red can do. He doesn't have the army. Oh, look at that Storm. Beautiful. Damaging all the goons. 2 go down.
Yeah, I mean,
this is almost a completely Zealot Templar army, just 1 Dragoon.
He's basically contained, he just can't move out. Even every time he moves out, he just gets 1 Storm in the face.
Yeah.
No energy on those Templars right now. Oh wait, actually, one Templar had energy.
But with enough micro, he'll be able to start doing quite a bit of damage to these Zealots. Obviously, they can't commit to a fight next to the cannons, so this micro from Red is quite good, trying to get himself back into the game somehow. And we're losing Zealots. We're just kind of bleeding off Zealots here for no reason. But it looks like Yellow smells blood in the water, and he's going for an engagement, but then he pulls back again. So this constant back and forth is really favoring our Red player. Just non-stop Zealots are going down for Yellow for no reason, no return on investment.
Needs to add some more Dragoons, which he's doing right now.
Yeah, I'm also curious, did Yellow ever get Goon range? It looks like he might not have. I might be wrong, but just judging from some of these engagements, the Goons for Yellow really haven't been.
Yeah, maybe he's forgotten it. But the thing is, he has these 3 bases. His economic advantage is only going to grow from here.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Red tried to take an engagement that he couldn't, and he's backing up now, but he's already lost 2 Goons for his trouble. And this might be a huge storm right here. All the Dragoons are trapped, so if the storm goes down, there's nowhere to.
And plus moving
Nice.
in. And
Huge storm, taking out all the Dragoons.
And I think Yellow is like he knows that there has to be some sort of hidden base. You know, he's looking for it with his probe here.
Well, the funny thing is, he doesn't even have any reason to suspect that there is another base because, I mean, Red hasn't even, he just retook his main base now. There's nothing out of the ordinary, really, until he comes down here and starts it.
Yeah.
He must really be scratching his head right
I mean, you're right, but I guess he was just trying to play it safe.
Definitely. When you have an advantage in any sort of game like this, you should really be taking your time to make sure that there's no possible way for your opponent to get back into the game. But as I say that, Yellow's really engaging into these cannons at a time where it's not necessary, and he's taking huge losses for it. These Archons, while doing quite a bit of damage, are going to get taken out in the end. And it looks like Yellow traded away his army for not much reason. When he had just scouted the base to the bottom left, he could have consolidated his army, moved down there, and taken it out decisively. But instead, he decided to engage into the full army of Red, into the full cannon line of Red, really taking the worst possible engagement he could have.
We can see that he has at least an upgrade advantage right now, +1 done for Yellow.
Yeah, that's true.
While Red is getting double upgrades. Mediocre storm there, more on his own troops than the others, the opponents. And yeah, it seems like it calmed down a bit now. I think he's gonna try.
Yeah, Yellow is getting his goon range now.
Oh, wow.
16 minutes.
Oof, that hurts. But he's moving down towards this this base, which has only 2 cannons.
Yeah, 2 cannons certainly not enough to fight this. Red's army is completely out of position for this. And I feel like he could have seen this coming. I mean, he has observers on the map right now. They're just not optimally placed. He has one kind of hovering over by the 3rd base, not even spotting anything. And another one down on the bottom side of the map, not spotting anything. So he's going to get completely blindsided by this attack.
Yeah, and once he kills those cannons, I don't know if Red even can stop him anymore. The army's about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger for Yellow.
Yeah, and losing just an absolutely huge chunk of his army, or of his economy right here, for nothing in return.
Almost 20 ropes down.
Trying to fight, but this really isn't a big enough army from Red to engage.
Yeah.
Although Yellow does have quite a few units shooting at buildings for no reason instead of the army, so for now, he seems to have driven away some of the army, but just look at the probe differential at this point. There's almost no coming back from a worker lead that.
Plus reinforcements are coming in. He's even getting a 4th base right now.
Yeah, I really like it. Even getting up gateways over there as if he was playing PvT.
Yeah.
And with this reinforcement wave, although there is a DT here, and I don't think Yellow has an observer, so for now this army is going to get driven back. But the Nexus was taken out, all the workers were killed. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot left for Red at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Yellow filthy rich on 900 minerals just now. Big macro cycle coming out.
Yeah.
Like, I think wherever he attacks, he's just gonna kill Red.
Yep. As the game goes on, it's getting better for Yellow, but even at this moment in time, Red really has no advantages here. So, looking quite difficult for him. He's going to have to get some sort of miracle engagement to get back into the game. Getting this free Templar is a nice catch, though.
I guess there are less comeback mechanics in PvP. You know, especially in
Yeah,
situation like that.
you can micro your heart out, and maybe if there was like some sick Reaver shots or some sick storms that went down, there's a possibility. But yeah, maybe storm drops would be a way to get back into it. If you could just have miraculous storm drops and kill off like 2 bases worth of probes at the same time, there might be a chance. But Red is gonna make his last ditch effort to attack this bottom right 4th base, and it looks like he's just gonna get completely overwhelmed here. So many goons, so many zealots, even an Archon. Although we could, yeah, here comes the Observer, so these DTs are no more, and it looks like Red is just at the end of his line here.
Almost 2 times the supply. 2.5 times the supply.
Yeah, not looking good.
Even mined out at his natural.
Luckily, he wasn't mining from his main very much, so...
This guy's a Zerg, you know. Yeah, and this looks like it is it. Yeah.
Yep, still only 4 gateways from Red, while we have double that in the opponent's main base. And he finds the base at bottom left for good measure, so with that, it looks like this game 1 will be coming to a close.
Pretty wild game, you know? Like, I don't expect PvPs to be like this.
12 Nexus into a bunch of DT shenanigans into a hidden 3rd base. Yeah. GG though.
GG's called.
So that is Specialist going up 1-0.
But even this one, pretty even, you know. You can see King of the tier.
Yeah, I could have seen that match. There were several points where it could have gone either way for sure. So he got that early economic advantage with his 12 Nexus, but he lost everything to that DT drop. So really, he needed to be a little bit more thorough with making sure that all of his holes were covered, and he had no way to fall behind. He should have accounted for the possibility of DT drop, but good tactics from his opponent.
Absolutely.
All right, getting into game number 2, we're going to be on Neo Sulfid.
Let's go. On Neo Sulfid, another rather new map, at least for me, you know, also on the ladder, which is here to stay, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like Neo Sulfid is going to be one of those contemporary classic maps that sticks around for a while. We've had it in the last 3 map pools, I believe, for ladder. And yeah, I really like this map a lot. The pro stats on it are quite balanced. And just from playing it, in my experience, as a Terran player, there are pros and cons in all of your matchups on this map. There are elements that are really beneficial and elements that hurt quite a bit. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of this map, even though it's not super Terran favored necessarily. But it looks like our red Protoss player here going for another slightly unorthodox build, sending out his probe before the pylon.
Both players
doing the same thing. We may have double proxy. Whoa,
they're gonna meet. They're gonna meet, are they? Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Awkward.
Yeah, and Yellow moving back.
It looks like both players are going to go back to just playing a normal game after spotting each other in the middle of the map like this.
Going down. Going back in shame, you know, both caught the other.
Yeah, both probes with their heads hung low return to the main base, unsuccessful in their mission. Looks like Red's going for an immediate assimilator, though. I'm really curious to see what this is for.
So what can it be for, you know? Like fast DTs or something?
I guess so.
I mean, the thing is, I play a lot with specialists, and he's a player who likes to do the unorthodox stuff, you know, the cheesy stuff. At least
yeah, it certainly seems like that. But the opponent is going to scout this. I wonder if he's going to be as confused as we are, or if this is a build that we just don't know about. But his probe gets killed. He doesn't even see the assimilator. What a disaster! So Yellow's going for 2-gate here in response to this, which I think is quite smart. He doesn't actually, I don't know if he rechecked the middle of the map to see if the proxy was there.
Yeah, he did.
Although he did send the gateway in his opponent's main base. But he's going for 2. Oh, and his opponent throws down a 2nd gate as well. So he has, I don't like this. I really don't like this. We went for the early gas. but we're not getting a cybernetics core. We're just going for 2-gate, but we're mining gas still, but we don't have anything to spend gas on. So this build is bad.
Yeah.
He canceled the gateway. Now he's going for the cyber core.
No, it's just a pylon.
Wait, no, it's a pylon.
Yeah, I'm confused. Like, you should have gotten it like ages ago. Maybe it's coming down now.
Yeah, there's no way around this. Either this replay is glitched or Stanley is making a huge misplay here.
Okay, now it's coming down, but 2 gates up already, and yeah, like
yeah, we're going to be streaming zealots across the map 2 at a time, and even though we went for 2-gate as specialists, we're not even like that far behind on the tech because Stanley was just waffling so much. He went for that quick assimilator, and then he went for a second gateway, but then he canceled it. Then we went for a pylon. Then we went for the cyber core. So his goons aren't going to be out nearly in time to help deal with this 2-gate. It's just going to be zealots.
yeah, I mean, he's on 450 gas right now. Still hasn't spent any gas. Now he did.
So it's going to be a citadel, but as soon as these 3 zealots get to his opponent's base, Stanley's going to be forced to retreat, and in all likelihood, yellow is going to scout this citadel ahead of time. So he's going to be more than... we see a forge coming down in his main base too, so he's aware of the possibility of DTs.
Good building placement, I guess. Making sure he gets all the corners of his base.
Yeah, he seems to know what his opponent is capable of here. Here come the first 4 zealots, and there's only 2 in response.
And the goon is barely out. Barely not out, actually.
Yeah. And even with the goon out, it's not like this rush is over by any means. The goon does not do that much DPS. Its real advantage is in the fact that it can play ranged. It's shooting ranged, but if it has to assist the zealot, it's just kind of doing its pure DPS anyways, so the range doesn't matter. We see that specialist is splitting off a zealot to go do damage to the probes, which is great. He's already gotten 4 probes. And yeah, it looks like this game is going to be coming to a close shortly. There's just no units out to defend. He's going all in with these Dark Templar. If the Templar don't kill yellow, then the game ends immediately. But cannons are already on the way.
He's not producing any Dark Templar.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, the archive is not done yet. Yeah.
We'll see if he can stay alive long enough to even get these DTs out, but I don't even know if we'll have the money to produce them. I mean, he has 500 gas, but no minerals, and he's not...
I mean, he's not... Oh, no, he still is sending zealots, because I was thinking he's getting cannons at his natural.
Yeah, I don't see any win conditions for Sandal at this point.
The economic damage already just insane on 11 probes only.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough, you know.
Yep. Obviously, when you go for a proxy like that, the last thing you want to see is an opponent's worker also in the middle of the map. So it's not surprising that Stanley had a somewhat incorrect response after that. It's obviously a position you really don't want to play from, and he probably doesn't have much experience playing from that position, but he needed to think a little bit more thoroughly about what his game plan was from that point. Going for that early simulator really ended up hurting him more than anything. He has 500 unspent gas, and GG is called.
Well played, you know. I mean, in this case, this mistake was just, you know, just too much. The gas mistake, but game 1, of course, also really well played by specialists. And with that, he's gonna be the king of tier 2.
Yeah,
very suspicious. Very suspicious. You know, the guy who made the tournament is winning. So let's bring up the players of tier 1 now, which is gonna be another PvP, I think. Let me quickly bring out the... Oh wait, I don't have it. 1 second. I don't have the brackets.
Oh, okay.
I think I just straight up don't have them. Or they're like, I don't have them on stream, so yeah, let's just skip this part. You know, it's Butzel against
for the games.
Shafir. I'm gonna host up this replay and then we'll introduce both players properly.
Cool.
So we have Butzel from Team Socialized Healthcare and Shafir. I hope that's
Yeah.
a good way to pronounce it. From Passion, that is. Player you probably know from your team.
Yes.
And yeah, let's get into this game.
Yep. Game 1 on Polypoid. Let's get into it.
Give me some more PvP. You know.
Yes.
I mean, if
need
they go
more.
like those two games, wasn't bad at all. You know, it was pretty
All right.
exciting.
Spawning in the top right-hand position of Polypoid is the red player. It is Butzelbear. And in the bottom left, we have our, looks like a light purple, maybe a pink Protoss even. And we have Shift.
Yeah.
So we got cross spawns. So this will be a little bit interesting. Cross spawns obviously conducive for a longer game. Less likely that players just immediately die to like a 2-gate or something.
So let's talk about Butzel for a second. This guy started out tier 3. He got promoted to tier 1 today. And he's already playing in this tournament and he's in the finals, you know. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And I think, I'm not sure, like he can correct me on that, but I think PvP is one of his strongest matchups. Like I know he's played a lot of PvP in this season and I think he won all of them.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I have not actually played with him, but I have played quite a bit with Shafir actually. We play a lot of TVP together, and he's quite a solid player. His macro is quite good. He's really been working on his pro production, things like that. So the longer the game goes on, the more that I think he'll be in a strong position. But PvP is so much a strategic game, it's so much of a mind game, and somewhat of a tactics game. So that macro advantage that he might have may not end up paying off in the long run. That may be more beneficial to PvT than PvP, but we'll see.
Both opting for pretty much the same build, I think. Except now Butzel is getting a gas, an early gas.
Yeah, roughly the same builds though.
Oh yeah.
No 2 gates, just 1 gate and then a simulator. So looks like for now it'll be standard. We'll see if players want to go for a robo after this, after the cybernetics core. We'll see how many gateways they want to go up to, or we'll see if any of them want to go for DT tech.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Robo, like a Reaver, nothing we saw in the last 2 games. So
yeah, that's actually a good point. Reaver is really common and big part of PvP, and the fact that we didn't see a single one in a whole best of 3 is quite surprising.
I mean, I guess they are hard to control, you know. So maybe
certainly
both players don't feel too comfortable. Like I don't know how much of a must it is to have them, you know. I mean, we saw 2 games where they weren't used at all, but maybe at one point you just have to get that shuttle and the Reaver and like use it as part of your army.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, if your strong suit isn't your shuttle reaper micro, there's not necessarily a need to try and do it just because it's the quote unquote standard thing to do. You really, a big part of StarCraft are knowing your strengths and weaknesses as a player and playing around it. So not letting yourself get too influenced by what other people do is definitely a strong skill to have. However, it is somewhat undeniable that Reavers are quite powerful, and if you are able to micro that shuttle plus Reaver, it's quite invaluable. So we'll see. I know for a fact that Shafir does like to go for Reavers in PvT. I wouldn't say his shuttle Reaver control is the strongest, but it's certainly competent, not bad. So we'll see if he's able to use that to good effect in this game. Shafir gets quite a thorough scout off. He sees goon ranges on the way. He sees only 1 gateway. So nothing to suspect at the time being. Unfortunately, Butzelbear was trapped from, or he was blocked from getting into the main base issue.
Yeah, so like how important is it to be blind or not be blind in a situation like this? I mean, of course you want to check for DTs, you know, drops.
Yeah, I think the DT is kind of the biggest scare that Red has to deal with at this point. We see him going for that robo right after the first gateway, and I expect that he'll go for an observatory before he goes for a robo bay, just to be ultra safe. When you don't get any sort of scouting off whatsoever, you are really playing in the dark, and if you decide not to defend against DTs, you're really just rolling the dice here.
And both players not getting any fast expansion.
Yep, the only difference is that Shafir went for his second gateway before Robo, while Butzel went for his Robo before the gateway. I think for the most part that's advantageous for Bustleberry, but I don't want to speak out of turn here. He'll observatory to his observer to his opponent's base quicker if he decides to go for that, which it looks like he will. But for the time being, Shafir definitely has enough army to take map control with that 2-gate production.
Yeah, and as you correctly predicted, he's getting the observatory before any robo. I mean, any robotics.
Yeah, he's going to be playing this safe. He obviously doesn't want to just immediately fold the DTs. So one observer is coming on the way. We'll see if he goes for that robo bay after this and starts going for shuttle. Shafir going to poke in here in the natural. Unfortunately, he's going to lose first goon, a little bit of miss micro there. So a good micro from Butzelbear. Oh, he's going back in. I don't know if I agree with this for Shafir. He doesn't have the army to win a straight up fight here. So diving back in to try and get another kill. He loses a goon for his troubles. He also loses that zealot. So quite a good trade from Butzelbear. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. And he's going to use that advantage to go ahead and take his natural nexus right away.
And we have a suspicious pylon at 12 o'clock.
Quite a suspicious pylon indeed. But the probe isn't there to build anything, so for the time being, it's just...
I mean, this engage almost looked like a misclick to me, you know, like he kept moving.
Yeah, I think that goon movement may have been a mistake. Not just a mistake, but like not what he meant.
Yeah. And as you said, he's getting robotic support play, so either play from Shafir, but both players actually, so...
Yeah, both players kind of mirroring each other's builds. Yeah, like I said, Shafir went for the second gateway before the Robo, and Butzelbear went for the Nexus before Shafir. So small advantages and disadvantages for both players, but for the most part, it looks somewhat
mirrored.
It's really going to come down to mid-game army control, and also possibly harassment. Obviously, Reaver Shuttle is a huge boon to have in a fight, but if you are having a fight and you split off that Reaver Shuttle and go do damage to the probes, you can even lose that fight but still take a huge advantage. So we'll see how both players' decision making goes with this harassment as we move into the mid game here. Both players taking their nexus without challenge.
Yeah, and both players scouting each other with the observers, so they will know what's coming.
Or no, it's not coming.
Yeah.
Both players playing mostly passive for now. But as these Reavers come out, we may see them jet across the map to try and get probe kills, or they may just stay home to defend. Looks like Bustlebear spotted the observer from Shafir, but it will get away for now.
It is definitely one of the slower PvPs I've seen. This is like trying to be a TVT.
Yeah.
While the others, we just saw they were more like ZVZ, very cutthroat.
It's a good point.
But I guess at some point you just have to, like, you can't go into getting a third base. You just have to do something.
Yeah, they're gonna have to build up a small army before they're able to secure that third base for sure. Right now, Bustle's going up to 4 gateways. It looks like 5 even. No, he's going up to 6 gateways with the Reaver. Shafir's still only on 2 gates right now, so there's going to be a period of time where Bustle has a huge economic advantage. You see him cutting probes to go all in on these gateways, so he's looking to make a huge mid-game timing attack. He's not producing probes anymore, so he's not trying to look to take a third base off this necessarily. Shafir now trying to catch up in the gateway count, but for the time being, Butzelbear is going to have a huge army lead. We'll see if he's able to do damage with it, though.
We need to also see that he has gotten shuttle speed and he moved out with the shuttle and the Reaver, Shafir that is, but it got scouted by the observer. I don't know if Butler actually saw that, but he should be ready for any kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, it's going to come to the base from the south. Oh, actually, that pylon that Buzzle just put down looks like it may even block his own goons. If Shafir drops at the very bottom right of the natural expansion, it can only get hit by 1 or 2 goons. Here comes it now. Perfect timing. Huge probe detonation. That was 8 probes, 9 probes. Here comes the second. Looks like it's going to be a dud, though.
Yeah.
But he's moving into the main base, and there's just nothing to defend here. Huge Reaver shot. Oh my god! What in the world? That was the biggest Reaver shot I've seen in weeks. It looks like another 8 probes.
Damn, I missed it. I'm watching the fight right now because Battle is
Oh,
going for a
no.
counterattack.
Look at the probe count, though. The probe count is just telling the whole story here. All Shafir has to do is pull back and defend this push. If he survives here, if he doesn't immediately lose the game, there's almost no way he can lose in the long run.
But
You see
this
him
looks
pulling
scary,
back.
you know? Look at this army.
He lost his Reaver. Oh, and his Reaver at the National's getting dove on. Right now, he loses it. Only one Scarab goes off, and there's a huge advantage for Busselbear here. We're going to need a miracle from Shafir to defend this. Here we go now. Reaver's getting dropped off. 2 big Scarabs going off, doing big damage, but it's, 1 Reaver goes down. And it looks like Shafir's trying to dive onto the 2nd Reaver, but it doesn't get taken out, and more reinforcements are coming in from Belson. Another huge Scarab goes off. And with that, there's just no more army from Shafir. He was able to do so much economic damage with that Reaver, but he was just not able to defend the counterattack that came afterwards, and he's going to lose his natural nexus at the very least. The worker count getting completely evened out at this point, and now Shafir is in dire straits.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit too slow in moving back. You know, as
Yeah, he lost his Reaver in his opponent's main base, so a little bit of miscontrol there, but even with that extra Reaver coming home to defend, there was just so much from Butzelbear. I don't know if he would have been able to do it. It looks like Shafir is really trying to claim his low ground, and Butzel's just going to give it to him. He killed that natural nexus. He knows that he's in a great spot, even after losing so many probes to that.
Yeah,
The worker count is completely even.
Going for the disciplined play here.
Yeah, quite smart. There is no easier way to throw a game than to try and move up a ramp for no reason.
Although he's going to try something again because his army is just so much bigger than Shafir's.
Yeah, definitely. He if he wants to, he can come deny this natural again, no problem. And he probably will with this reinforcement of 5.
And there we go. Doesn't look too
Getting
good.
a little bit forward with that shuttle, but Shafir decides not to pop it, and nice pickups. Both of those, all 3 of those Scarabs not hitting anything. A little bit of mismicro coming out of Red. He lost that Reaver, and these big Scarabs coming out of Shafir. Nice pickup, nice, really exceptional shuttle Reaver control from Shafir this fight. But I don't. Oh, big Scarab shot. It looks like he might just barely have enough to hold. Yeah, Shafir's gonna actually hold on for now.
Damn. I was just about to praise Batzel's Reaver control when he just lost it.
Yeah, and with this natural nexus finishing up, both players had almost the exact same probe count. Obviously, there's a slight army advantage for Busselbear, but he just lost his main army. He lost that shuttle. So for now, Busselbear's not going to be able to put on pressure. And it looks like he's going to go take a 3rd base instead.
Which might be scouted. Not. I mean, the probe is there, and there is.
Oh, wow. At the exact perfect opportunity, Shafir's probe comes out.
And he's blocking it.
Oh, he's taking it. Oh, my God, Shafir.
The BM.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, pylon.
Yeah, so this game is actually quite a bit more even than I thought. After so many huge devastating attacks, those huge Scarab shots, those 2 battles, I'm so surprised at how close the game is. Probe count almost identical.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight, to be honest. I was so sure that Red is going to win that. He had like.
And it looks like Shafir's
6
opportunity to get back into this game is going to be this DT drop here. We have 2 DTs finishing up and a shuttle coming out soon. So if he can get back into this game with just some beautiful DT drops in the main base, I could see anything happening. We have the observer from Shafir in the main base spotting that there's no detection at all. So if we can just sweep in with some DTs and start killing probes, if there's not a perfect reaction from Butzelbear, Shafir might be able to edge out a huge lead. We even see that he already has the worker lead.
But Butzel going for the move out again. His army again much bigger than the Shafir.
Yes. Yeah, the real advantage for Butzelbear is definitely his army advantage. Zealot speed is even done, which is going to make not only his fight better, but he's going to be able to reinforce so quickly with these waves of Zealots. And all that Shafir has are these 3 Templar with Storm, and Storm's not even.
Yeah.
have energy either. So, Butzel's just hitting at the most amazing opportunity right now. This is the best timing he could possibly hit at. There's just no defense here at all. Here comes the DT drop from Shafir. We'll see if it's a. Oh wow! Look at that probe transfer. Just no reaction time, or actually perfect reaction time, I should say.
And meanwhile, he loses everything at his natural.
Yeah, Shafir is just going to lose everything here, and with that defended, the DT drops being spotted and defended, I don't think Shafir has an opportunity back into this. Really well played by Batzelberg, I have to say. That this last attack here was just the most beautiful timing he could have possibly hit. Really impressive.
Yeah, and this looks like it's about to be it.
Looks like GG. GG.
GG. Pretty good games, I have to say.
Oh yeah, that was super sick PvP. Totally back and forth. Those scarab shots absolutely blew my goddamn mind. I'm very excited to see this game too.
Me too. Let me quickly check something with my mic. I heard it's a little bit too quiet. I'm a little bit too quiet. And also,
yeah, really exceptional games so far tonight. The ZVZs were super back and forth. The PvP series before this was super exciting, and now we're just having an insane game here. So, great finals.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament, the last one already was really, like people loved it, and this time again, like the games that come out, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually can't make myself much louder, so let's just go in. I'm gonna talk a little bit louder. Hope it's fine. Polypoint now. No, not Polypoint. Neo Sylphid now. So.
Yep, back to Sylphid.
I mean, the thing is, the last game was really mirrored, in builds and everything. Like they even went both for Reavers. I'm really curious to see if they might opt for something different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to call the players again?
Sure, let's do it. In the 12 o'clock position, we have the red Protoss player. It's IRK's very own Butzelberg. And on the bottom right spawn, we have the blue Protoss from Passion Daddies. Also playing on Nas, it is Shafir. So one interesting thing about Sylphid is that there's no high ground ramp going into your natural. So 2-gate plays, heavy zealot plays are quite effective on this map. We'll see if either player decides to opt for that, or if we're just going to see a normal 1-gate robo. But no proxy pylons as of now. Looks like most of the buildings will be getting built in the Protoss main, which is always sad to see, but sometimes it's the way it is.
I mean, you've made a good point about the ramps. Would you say that this is something that would affect the army composition in general, for Protoss or PvP?
The army composition, you kind of start dictating that more as you get into the mid game, and once you get into the mid game, you're most likely going to be having a natural expansion. So that may not play the hugest role in it, but it does kind of dictate the early game. Like I said, 2-gate zealot is really effective here, and going for something like 1-gate into that cyber core into robo is going to be a little bit more risky. You just have the possibility of just immediately dying to 2-gate zealot. So I think both players might be taking a little more cautious approach to this early game. We'll see.
Although the build until now is again about the same.
Yep, no 9-9 gate, no super quick 2 gates. Yeah, both players going for gas, so it looks like it's going to be a repeat of last game for the most part.
Yeah, both going for the early zonetics, of course. Yeah, I think like it might be that this is just a style that both players are particularly comfortable with,
Yeah.
And we can see Shafir trying a little bit of a harass with his probe, trying to disrupt the gas mining.
Yeah, early game there's not much to do, so any excess APM getting spent on a little harass like this, I'm a big fan of.
Protoss players used to having to micro a probe all day, so
yeah,
they just have to do it. It's like OCD.
Yeah, well, you got drones too. I have just stupid SUVs that don't have any ranged attacks, so.
I don't micro.
Shafir loses his scouting probe, which is always kind of a disaster. We could see if Butzelbear wanted to, he could just throw down a Citadel and go for a DT rush, but he's just going to play with normal goon range, maybe throw down a second gateway in a second, but nothing out of the ordinary. Both players totally mirroring each other's builds.
Yeah, now the scouting ends because the Dragoon is out, of course.
So yeah, both these players seem quite confident in their mid games. They're not trying to get any early advantages. They're not trying to apply pressure, really. They just want to get themselves into the strongest mid game position possible, playing quite defensively. We see a second gateway coming out for Butzelbear. We'll see if Shafir matches him or if he goes for a Robo, which would have been kind of the inverse of last game. Yep. So it looks like the players are going to decide to switch their builds. Last game we saw Butzelbear going for the gate, then the Robo. Gate, then the Robo. But this game we see him going for 2 gate.
Even 3 gate now.
Ooh, coming down. So it looks like he's going to try and get some early goon pressure, possibly take some map control, maybe even try and bust his opponent. And we'll see if he goes for a gateway behind this or if we're just going to go all in on goon. Sorry, if we're going for a Robo behind this.
How many gates can you play off on one base in PvP?
It's 4 gates for the most part is just about as many as you can sustain. I think if you totally oversaturate your base, you could go for 5, but you don't see that very often. 4 gates tends to be the max.
Okay.
But he's playing totally blind here. He doesn't have any sort of detection on the way. So luckily for him, his opponent is going for a Robo and then an Observatory. So Shafir is really playing in the dark here, playing blind, so he's playing safe against DTs. But his opponent is just going really all in with this army supply here. We'll see if he's able to respond. He is getting 3 gates of his own, but he's going for Observer first, so he's not going to have a Reaver to defend.
Yeah, and he actually is trying to set up for his expansion here. You can see the pylon going down. And he's scouting the move out right now. You know, the thing is, he has the advantage of the incoming army, of the gateways.
Yeah, Shafir definitely has defender's advantage here, and the goon advantage for red is only 1 goon, and look at this micro, making this zealot totally worthless, just pulling back these goons constantly, getting a couple goon snipes, and trading 1 for 1 is not what Butzelbear wants to be doing right now. He wants to use that army advantage to get efficient trades, but he was only trading evenly, and now that he's getting driven back, Shafir's taking not only the army lead, but he has the tech advantage. At any time now, he can throw down that Robo Bay and start producing Reavers. And there's just going to be no answer from Butzelbear for now. He's just going all in on these goons. So he has to make something work here. And look at Shafir's micro. Just nonstop stutter stepping, picking off the weakened Dragoons, making the Zealot totally useless. And Shafir is taking a dominating position going into the mid game.
Not gonna lie, that would look really scary, you know, the way he micros.
Yeah, he was going up against an extra goon and an extra zealot, but with just the power of his micro, he was able to make that look even favored for him. He's pushing up here with his army, which is a little bit risky, but I think it's more of just like a scouting poke than anything. He wants to see, is his opponent transitioning into Robo tech or not? Actually, no. He's just going to go up here and try and get a goon. Nice pullback from Butzelbear, though. Oh, but Shafir diving in 2 goon kills for just 1 now.
Good target for him.
Yeah, we're trading 1 for 1 with goons here, so really just not optimal for Butzelbear. And to counteract this, he decides he's going to go for Citadel. I wonder if this is going to be for leg speed. He has to know his opponent has observers at this point, right?
I mean, he expects it, but he doesn't have it.
That's the Citadel from Shafir.
Yeah. Shafir's the Citadel and the Robo only coming up now, so...
Yeah, so if he goes for DTs here, there may not be an observatory up in time, and it looks like that Butzelbear is going to try and take his natural expansion, which is a little bit greedy from him. But if he can continue to intimidate Shafir with his army out on the map like this, he may be able to keep Shafir at home, but I mean, he's not trading well, and Shafir has an observer in his opponent's base, so if he moves it to the natural, he's going to see exactly what his opponent's up to.
Yeah, and this is has been a back and forth of one player poking at the natural of the other, and then losing his dragoons to the defender's advantage.
Yeah, but it looks like Jafir has just done enough efficient trades here that he's going to have a pretty big advantage with his army here. We'll see how this micro.
I mean, it's
So
5
far,
versus
not great for
5.
Shafir. He's engaging before his full army is here, which gives Butzelberg the opportunity to get some big volleys off, and he's going to lose this zealot for free as well. So once again, Shafir driven back.
Time for round 4. More dragoons coming in from Shafir.
We have Observatory and Robo Bay going down at the same time for Butzelberg, so it's going to be of critical importance that he starts that Observer first, because that Templar Archive's just finished up for Shafir now. 2 DTs should be on the way. If Butzelberg goes for Shuttle, then Reaver, then Observer, he's going to be just dead.
Okay,
but
no.
luckily for him, he goes for Observer.
And his Nexus is going to be done a little bit sooner. But I think things cool down just now.
Yep, it looks like we're going to transition into a normal mid game. Butzelberg is able to secure that natural nexus a little bit quicker than Shafir, so he's going to take a small worker advantage, but nothing insurmountable by any means. And Shafir definitely has the tech advantage with his Templar archives already done.
Yeah, and DT's coming out, of course. He doesn't know. Wait, he actually knows now that his opponent has observers.
Yeah, he's Butzelberg is keeping his observer at home, so he's not going to take any damage to this DT.
Yeah, and this time Shafir are not opting for Reaver, at least not yet. He's going to try to poke here again, but I don't know if he can do much here.
These pylon walls are just making it impossible for Shafir to micro here properly. Oh, but
he tries to sneak in this DT, but
what I would have loved to see is if Shafir had brought his own observer so that he could try and snipe his opponent's observer and then slip that DT in. He could have done critical damage like that, but as it stands, he's going to lose almost all of these goons in a not very efficient trade. But on the other hand, Butzelberg's probe production hasn't been super solid, so even though he had the worker lead and he had this nexus done quicker, now Shafir has the probe lead. And like I said, Shafir's mechanics are quite strong, so it looks like it may be paying off here in this game. Shafir just going for non-stop goon production. He has not started a Robo Bay. He's just going to use that Robo for observers. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, maybe he thought after game 1 that he would like to.
Yeah, he's going to go for Templar Tech instead, which is understandable. He spent all the money to get the Templar Tech up, so he may as well use it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Storm is done yet, right? So.
No, he hasn't researched Storm yet. Reavers are, as soon as they pop out with the shuttle, they're pretty much effective. You can go start dropping your opponent. You can start using him to attack. But Templar are a little bit more defensive for the most part. You have to wait for those upgrades to finish, and you have to wait for the energy before you can start harassing with them or defending with them. So for the time being, Shafir's not going to be able to get much value out of these Templar, but as the game continues to go on later and later, they're going to get more and more efficient. And it looks like Shafir's moving out to try and take a third base, perhaps at a hidden location. I understand this. I think this is quite a good move. We saw that Butzelberg was playing very defensive with his observers, keeping them at home to protect against DTs, even getting a cannon to help with that detection. So Shafir's third base, if he chooses to take it, probably will go unscouted for a long time. But just using it as a little pylon dump for now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky thing. A Nexus is just expensive, and we saw the last timing push of Butzel was just like too well timed, you know. So
yeah, and speaking of, right when that second Reaver finishes is the time to move out, and we're moving across the map. Our opponent's Storm is just going to barely finish in time, but as of now, there's only 2 Templars. One of them has enough for Storm, the other one doesn't. So if we hit right now, we may be able to have a critical mass of Reaver and goons that are able to take out this army.
It's going to come down to this shuttle, this Reaver micro, I guess.
First Scarab, not optimal, but the second one gets a kill. Shafir having to retreat back into his base. His Storm is done. We'll see how this first Storm is. Oh, right on top of all the Reavers and the shuttle.
One Reaver goes down. The shuttle goes down.
Reaver
Second
down.
Reaver goes down. Oh my god, beautiful storms from Shafir, and he's going to be able to drive this back army. Drive back this army, no problem. So what I thought was going to be a perfect timing for Bustlebear turned out to be an anti-timing, and he lost everything to those storms.
That
And it
was
looks like
crazy.
Shafir is going to take this opportunity to get back on the map. He's morphing an Archon with those Templar, and he's producing nonstop 6 speed lots at a time. He has a shuttle with Templar in it also, so if he wants to right now, he can take a little bit of a forward position on the map. But it looks like he's going to use it to take his third base, which I think is even smarter.
Yeah, agreed.
And actually, look at these pylons that are at these different bases. It looks like it's spotting for Reavers that are coming in, or shuttles. So getting vision on the map like that's always great.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment in the game, this is one of the things that could set you back again, you know. So of course it's going to try to think about that, which is just smart of Shafir. He's getting back. Both players are getting the third now, but Hutzel getting this. I call it half third because it's just.
Yeah, the minerals are reduced and there's only 6 patches there.
The gas is reduced as well.
Yeah, 1,500 as opposed to the normal 5,000.
And of course, it's way harder to defend. Like this third is way easier. You know,
It's quite open.
corner.
And yeah, the third that Shafir takes is a lot easier to hold because you have that high ground ramp, obviously. But it is further away from his natural location, so there's pros and cons to it for sure. But if both players are able to secure this, disadvantage will go to Shafir for sure.
And he's moving out the shuttle with 1 Templar now.
Yeah, this has the potential to just do incredible amounts of damage to the probe line. We see that there's a right before Butzelbear is ready to transfer probes to the third. There's just a huge swell of probes here. Here comes, oh, beautiful. Gets, I think that was 7 probes.
Yep, pretty much.
7 probes for 1 shuttle and 1 Templar. Not the greatest trade in the world, but certainly a good trade.
Yeah, I think the shuttle got spotted a little bit too early. So
Yeah,
that was unfortunate.
Now that we've seen Butzelbear do a probe transfer to run away, it's been great reaction times. So he really is keeping a good eye on his.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to critical mass here. I wonder if Shafir doesn't know about this expansion yet.
Yeah, not yet. He probably suspects that there's a third base coming up somewhere though, and it looks like we might just take an engagement here. Shafir backing up and consolidating this army. The Reavers are getting dropped out. All the Scarabs do big damage to the Zealots.
Storms coming in now.
The storms, big storms, all over the Reavers, all over the shuttle. The shuttle goes down with the Reaver in it, and the second Reaver gets popped by the storms. And just like that, Shafir is able to take a decisive victory in the middle of the map with his.
Yeah, this is just a replay of the first fight where he just
Really, yeah.
killed both Reavers and the shuttle with like 2 really good storms.
And Bustlebear just has no army left at all. He's forced back to his natural, trying to fight there, trying to have a last stand, but it does not look good. And if Shafir sees this third base, he's going to be able to take it out for free, no problem. But it looks like he's not even going to come to that. We're just going to take this engagement right now. And yeah, big storms. It looks like Shafir is going to take this game. Quite a nice engagement in the middle of the map there.
Wow, I mean, pretty well played.
Definitely.
Like from minute 1, you know, from the excellent Dragoon micro to those crazy storms.
Yeah, those storms were absolutely wild. GG is called.
GG.
So we are going to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, we can see both these players really close in skill, I would say, you know.
Yeah, this is a great match.
And yeah, I'm really curious to see if Shafir is gonna play Weaver again, or maybe stick to the plan of getting early Templars like he did now, because it seemed to pay off, you know.
Yeah, neither player has gone for anything proxied yet, so I'm expecting this game we may see something like that. I'm gonna grab some water, but I'll be back in like 40 seconds.
All right, I'm just gonna call out the players in the meantime. We have on the top left or red player Butzel. Because I speak German, I can say it's Butzelbeer, I think, you know. I'm assuming. And then the bottom left we have Shafir in white. And yeah, I'm expecting both players to play pretty much the same opening again. I think this is just what they are most comfortable with. And we're gonna have to see and wait, or wait and see actually, on when the tech paths deviate. And yeah, I mean, circuit breakers. When you're done drinking, Father, if you're listening to me, I'm really curious to see, or to hear from you what you think about PvP on this map. You know.
Yeah. Neither player going for a proxy. I'm a little bit disappointed, I won't lie. Looks like Shafir's going to get the correct first scout off, though. I take that back. He's going to scout him. And it looks like Busselbear's not even going to choose to scout with his first probe.
I think he did that. He didn't do that in the second game as well, or in the first game.
Yeah, so he's going to get a little bit of a mineral advantage from not wasting a probe like that, sending it out after the gateway instead of after the pylon. But obviously, it won't matter that.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, what is there to scout except for a proxy? With a really early scout.
The 2-gate, I guess, would be a big deal. And if you scout them last after a gateway scout, you're just not going to get into the main base at all. So it's a little bit risky. And it looks like he may end up scouting him last, so he might be playing in the dark from.
Would you say that's just sloppy because the mineral advantage is so tiny?
I'm not sure. I haven't played this matchup enough to be able to make a real analysis of it like that, but it's definitely a risky play. We'll see if he gets punished for it. Shafir hasn't been really one to go for crazy tech rushes or anything. No 2 gates before Cyber, so it looks like he's going to just play standard for now. But if he goes for something like DT rush, Botzelbear has the opportunity to just get completely caught off guard.
Yeah, but it looks like both players are playing pretty much the same as in the first 2 games.
Yep, both players going for a Zealot first, so playing super safe. Ooh, but here's a little hidden pylon up in the top right.
What's up with those hidden pylons? This is the 3rd time he's doing this.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think they're quite strong actually. When Busselbear gets in here to scout, if he's counting pylons, he's going to see there's only 1 pylon in the main base. So your response to that has to think that there's this, man, beautiful micro from Shafir denying the scout altogether. What I was going to say, though, is that once Busselbear gets in the main base and scouts only 1 pylon, he's going to have to assume that there's 1 proxied on the map somewhere. So he may overreact and panic to that, but he doesn't even get the opportunity to scout at all. So he's going to have to play ultra defensive here, ultra safe. Shafir gets a full scout off, sees that nothing is amiss, everything is how it should be.
Yeah, and Shafir gets a second gate. Well, let's see if he's gonna try to do some sort of early Dragoon aggression. I think this was pretty much the same in game 2, if I remember correctly.
Yep, second gateway coming up, not super early, just economical.
Early robo from Butzel again. Or earlier, at least. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's gonna opt for the Weavers again. Maybe this time try to, you know, be more aware of soul-crushing storms.
Yeah, it looks like Shafir just gone for that robo again, so same build he used last game.
And we can see
and another spotting pylon coming out at the 9 o'clock location from Shafir. So really good on Shafir to use his pylons to the maximum potential, using them to get scouting information as well as opening up Psy for him. So really important in StarCraft to make everything multi-purpose that you can. Like, you don't want to just go for robo and then observers just to counter DTs and then you're done with robotech after that. You really want to get more use out of it than just the initial benefit. So Shafir making sure to get maximum value out of his pylons. And Shafir going to come poke up here just to see what red player is up to. He's going to scout no nexus at the natural, so pretty
Yeah, not much he can do here, going up the ramp with 4 Dragoons only. Probably
Yeah,
had
but a Reaver
problem.
getting started from Butzelbear, so he's skipping his observatory for now.
I don't
And
know
he's
about this.
he's actually pushing up here, and it looks like he's going to get a good trade. He's going to be able to get up onto the high ground, and he's going to scout the shuttle coming out. So Shafir not only trading quite well here, but he's also going to have a perfect scout on his opponent. But it may not even come to that. Probes are already getting pulled off the line here, and Shafir's just getting insane amounts of value with these Dragoons, killing an army, getting scouting, forcing probes off the line. Already a huge amount of damage done.
Yeah, and backup is coming, or not backup, reinforcements actually.
Yeah, reinforcements are coming, and oh, yeah,
Yeah, and he's
all
up
we
the
have
ramp.
for Butler, one zealot and this Reaver that's about to pop out. And if we get on top of this Robo right now and snipe the Reaver before any scarabs get built, it's going to be a complete disaster. We see Butzelbear scrambling to pick up the Reaver in the shuttle, and it looks like that'll give enough time for scarabs to start building, but that shuttle is getting mighty low.
And the Reaver is really low HP and is
oh,
dead.
the scarabs are done and the Reaver goes down. So a complete disaster for Butzelbear. It looks like that might just be it. Probes getting pulled off the line again to try and fight goons. Never what you want to see as a Protoss player.
Wow, I'm surprised about the way this went right there. It was
Yeah,
going uphill.
Greedy and getting punished for it quite hard.
Yeah, and this looks like it's about it. He's losing more and more drones. He's producing off 2 gates, but so is Shafir, so he just can't catch up with it. I think it's just done. 5 goons in a base.
Well played by Shafir for sure.
Yeah.
GG.
GG, well played, definitely. Like for me, for somebody who doesn't watch or play PvP, going up the ramp, you know, with 4 Dragoons against 3 and a Zealot didn't look like a good idea, but I think one of those Dragoons just moved out a little bit and then he just got a path up there. And that was it.
Shafir definitely able to smell the blood in the water. As soon as Butzelbear made a small misstep, he totally pounced and capitalized on it. And yeah, it takes a decisive victory in Game 3. So congrats to Shafir winning the Tier 1 finals.
Yeah, absolutely, congratulations. And you know, this is something he's shown in all the games. His Dragoon micro is pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
Something to be feared. Yeah, our King of Tier 1 has been crowned. Now there's only one more left, which is Tier 0. And I think I have the brackets here, so let's check them out. So, of course, Tier 0, not that many players, so it's all rather easy to see how it went. We have our player Crane from Operation Indecision, a Protoss player, and Sabbath from Passion, that is. And Crane actually met Sabbath on round 1 and beat him, then went on to the semifinals to beat Razor Suke, or Razor Suk, I don't know, I'm sorry. Then he met Sabbath again in the winner of the brackets finals, and he lost there, and then of course they played in the finals again, while Sabbath had to beat Art of Turtle, Ash Space, and Razor Suke to get back to the finals and face Crane once more. So let's get those replays up. This is of course a PVT, so now I can actually you know, I can actually ask you questions that you can also answer, you know.
Yeah, I might have 1 or 2 valuable nuggets of info to add this time.
Excellent. Let me just make sure that the names are all in order. So I don't know, do you know any of these players? Like, I know Crane.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sabbath is on my team. We've been helping out a lot together, working with some of the Tier 3 and Tier 2 Terrans on our team. So yeah, he's quite a strong player. He knows what he's doing for sure.
All right, so let's go. Polypoid, game 1.
Yeah, Polypoid.
Need to fix the tier as well.
All right, spawning up in the top right location, we have the pink Terran player. It's Ash's very own Sabbath. And in the bottom right, the yellow Protoss player, we have Crane.
So you actually, when I first asked you about Polypoid, you talked about a Terran on this map. But how is PvT on this map, you know, with the bases? I mean, the third base, kind of iffy, you know, two ramps up there. It's a really wide area.
Yeah, so let's see, reveal a map real quick. So yeah, that natural or that mineral only third base, it's quite good for Terran because you can kind of just position your whole army up there, and you're in a solid spot with your army to defend all your bases. And then from there, it's natural to take your fourth base, which will be your third gas. So all these bases flow quite nicely together. And as the game continues, if we go into a late game, maybe a split map scenario, all those extra mineral bases are going to be great for the Terran player to gobble up. So yeah, but in general, I think this is quite an even matchup on this map. The main bases are huge if you can take a look around. So there's a lot of area to build factories, but also a lot of area to recall.
Yeah, like I think a theme of this season's maps is a lot of wide areas. You know, maps with really wide areas, and Polypoid, of course, one of them as well. Would you say that this is an advantage for Terran? You know, because you can have like huge tank lines or something.
Kind of. Terran in general tends to like having more choke points. A huge open wide area for a Protoss player means that they can take like a big engagement with a huge arc. They can have almost like a complete 360 engagement on your army. So you tend to try and avoid open locations like that, which is a reason why, for instance, like Circuit Breakers is such a difficult map in some ways for Terran, because there's no buildable terrain and there's nothing in the middle of the map that kind of chokes up units. So Protoss can take a huge 360 engagement on you. So yeah, in general, Terran tends to prefer to have tight, choked up areas where units have to get funneled through into tank lines and mines, things like that. But yeah, I haven't played enough on this map to really draw a conclusion one way or another, but I think it's quite even.
All right. Well, I for one know that Crane is a really good PvT player, so I'm really curious to see how this plays out.
So far, everything looks standard. Terran player just went for normal gas timing, normal factory. We pulled out of gas at 88, so we're not going for a 2 factory. Nothing crazy. Looks like we're just going to go for a normal bunker expand. And on the other side of the map, Protoss is doing pretty much the same. We got a gate, we got the simulator, and we got the cyber core with the goon range spinning. So as of yet, no crazy divergence from either player. And Terran's going to get a scout. Well, actually, no, he's going to get denied the scout because there's a goon coming out right now. If he's able to block the ramp in time, which he is, the SCV gets denied. But he gets away with the SCV for the most part. Well, I say that, but he kind of mismicros it and takes an extra shot. So the goon is going to chase after the SCV, and for now, it's going to deny any sort of scouting from Terran.
Yeah, and it looks like a comfy game. You know, both players having a chat. I mean, they played like a couple of games before meeting in this finals. So.
Yeah. And smart thing from Sabbath is that when he scouted, he saw that there was no zealot out of the Protoss players, so he's using this to delay his bunker for now. 3 Marines, when properly microed, will be able to defend against that 1 goon. So he's able to delay the bunker until after his command center goes down. Just a small little optimization. Obviously not going to have a huge impact. But he got his SCV scout denied, so he's playing it mostly in the dark from this point on. And yeah, we see him responding by putting down an engineering bay. He's going to play this ultra safe, probably just get a turret at his natural, maybe a turret in the main, just to make sure that he doesn't die to anything like proxy DTs or regular DTs. But that's not what Crane is going for. He's just going for a regular old Nexus at the natural. So this is a little bit bad for Sabbath. Building that engineering bay and the turrets unnecessarily obviously isn't ideal, but not a huge issue.
I mean, what can you do if you don't know what's coming? You have to play safe.
Yeah, you got to play safe. You can take a risk if you want to, but it really just feels unnecessary for the most part. Crane actually going in to dive on these SCVs. 3 goons can 2-shot SCVs, so he gets 1 pick off, and all he loses is a little bit of shields for his troubles. So nice.
Yeah, the Dragoon survived with 1 HP and 1 shield. That was really clutch.
And Sabbath playing really safe here is going for siege mode as well. So he's not taking any chances. He's not going to die to anything stupid like 2-gate goon or DTs. He's just playing ultra safe. And on the other side of the map, Protoss is pretty much doing the same. 3-gate observatory, just about as safe as you can play it.
Yeah, both players seem to feel comfortable in the mid and late game.
Yeah, and we see from the Terran player a second gas in the academy coming down. So looks like he's not going for anything like a quick 5 factory play. Looks like he's going to try and take this out into perhaps a third base and go for that mid to late game style. And as I say that, Crane's gearing up to take his third base as well. Looks like Sabbath is getting a little bit spooked here. He's making a full turret ring before he even gets his second factory down. So he's deciding that he's going to take a little bit of an economic hit just to make sure that he's ultra safe. No shuttle with Reaver is going to be able to get in here. No DT drops, things like that. But he's floating quite a bit of money. It looks like he's just going to go down, throw down some factories, and go for a timing push here.
I mean,
Looks like it's going to be 6 factories when this is all said and done.
I wonder if something happened that triggered this really defensive play, or if it's just his style, you know.
Yeah, you can do this build blindly, and you're going to be safe against everything. Like I said, with this turret ring, you're not going to be able to die to Reavers or DT drop or anything like that. So we're just playing ultra safe here, ultra defensively, and then we're going for this +1 6 factory timing. So in general, I do like this strategy, but there are a couple issues with how Sabbath has been executing it so far. The main thing is that he got his second factory super late, so he's going to have a really diminished tank count. Usually with this build, you go for a factory, then you get a command center, and then you get another factory after that. And then once that second factory finishes, you're just going to be pumping tanks out nonstop. But we saw that Sabbath was playing quite defensively, and so he's only able to have 1 add-on producing tanks for this longest time. And usually with this build, or at least with the 5 factory, what you want to do is you want to have a huge tank count, and then when all your factories finish, you move out and you just rally with vultures. But instead, we're going to have to play this a little bit more slowly and build up this tank count over time, because we have 4 tanks right now. That's not enough to get on the map.
So what's the goal of a move out like that, and what is Sabbath supposed to do now if he has less units? And then...
Yeah, so 6 factory, it's a really strong timing push. It has the opportunity to hit right before Arbiters come out, and so a lot of times you can just kill the Protoss immediately if they're not prepared for it. But the nice thing about it is that even if you're not able to immediately kill the Protoss, it transitions quite well into the mid game if you just take a 3rd command center behind it. We're getting our +1 weapons, so if this push doesn't immediately win the game, we can just regroup, get our 3rd base, and get our 2-1 timing going without too much deviance. But I'm worried because this tank count is just not enough. We have 6 tanks, it looks like, with the 7th coming out soon, and I think we're going to be moving out with that. So we'll see how prepared Protoss is. He's getting his Zealot legs, and he's up to 7 gateways with an 8th finishing. So we're going to see how well Protoss is prepared for this. We see Terran has cut SCVs at 40. He's done. He's pulled off gas. So we're really going all in with this attack, and we need to do damage. Attacking up this first high ground, backing off and doing a siege, I like it. But there's already a shuttle out from Protoss, so he's going to be able to do some huge Zealot bombs in this tank line. And this is not a good engagement at all for Protoss, though. His goons are getting absolutely shelled right now, and he has to back off. And that Zealot bomb really didn't accomplish anything. So a little bit of miscoordination from Crane costing him a lot of his early units, and we might see this just snowball and be a catastrophe for Crane. Once Terran gets this high ground, we can just reset our rally point to this high ground, and from here we can move out and start applying a lot of pressure to Protoss. Huge goon losses, 6 goons go down, 7 goons go down, and this is looking worse and worse for Crane as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he felt a little bit more confident because he had vision with his observer. But
yeah, the first engagement was really the biggest mistake because our goons were engaging for too long. Our Zealot bomb was a little bit late. And now look at this position that we have set up as Sabbath. We're going to be able to build turrets on this high ground. We have a mine set up here. Oh my god, this might be a complete disaster. Protoss is trying to engage through the minefields. We have tanks getting dropped on by Zealots, but there's a quick unsiege, and all the Zealots go down quickly. Here come the goons, but they might just be walking right into tank fire. We'll see. Yeah, that was not the engage that Crane needed. And from here, it's looking worse and worse. We have a couple additional reinforcement tanks coming from Sabbath, along with 4 vultures at a time. So this is really just an amazing position for Sabbath. But getting caught off guard a little bit, our tanks weren't sieged up, and we're going to lose 2 of them, 3 of them, maybe even a 4th. This tank count is really the heart of the army for Terran. So losing all these tanks was completely... Oh, we're going to lose a 5th one? No, just barely. 1 hit left on that tank. So resetting that tank count was great.
Nothing left.
All we have left for Crane are Zealots, and Zealots versus Vultures do not end well for the Zealots.
Yeah, we can really see the possibilities with this ramp, which is so close to the natural.
Yeah, it's really where we can set up our home base, and yeah, Crane's just going to tap out there. Really good from Sabbath, able to take that really amazing engage. Even though his tank count wasn't where it could have been, he was able to just get a perfect engage, and it doesn't matter. GG.
Yeah, and then like the kind of the type of mines he set there that just zoned out those dragoons, just made another attack of like any attempt to just retake this area impossible, you know.
Yeah. So well played by Sabbath.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I don't know how much experience these players have on that map, but definitely, like, especially in a matchup like this, sounds like something you really need to have some experience on, you know, because
yeah,
the position you put in your tanks and your dragoons is everything, you know. Like you saw it right there.
Yeah.
He took that ramp, and it's just hard to come back from that.
All right, game number 2, Sabbath spawning up in the 12 o'clock location, and we have Crane spawning down. We'll call it 4 o'clock.
Brown. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The 2 best colors.
I think I like pink. You know, I don't know if that's magenta, but I definitely am a fan.
The colors are very important. You can learn a lot about a player from which color they pick.
What about random?
That you're just an absolute savage if you go for random. You just throw caution to the wind. You don't even.
I don't know. Like, it's not the same as somebody who actually plays random race. You know.
Right.
Like 2 different breeds.
But once again, Protoss showing some restraint, building their first pylon in their main base. And yeah, one interesting thing about the spawn location, we can do quite a good SimCity as Terran here, building that first supply depot flush with the wall, and then we'll be able to build our barracks right next to it to the left, and then we can put our factory above that, which kind of tucks it into that corner there. So if Crane goes for early Zealots, we're going to have quite a good SimCity set up to defend against that.
Yeah, of course, as you mentioned before, this map, way less ramps, a little bit different rules.
Yeah, it's quite a flat map. Even that third base that's like tucked next to your main base, the one with the reduced minerals, you think it's on high ground, but actually it's not. Yeah. It's there are walls there, but it's not technically a high ground, so there's no mischance and there's no vision blocking happening there. So it's quite a flat map.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's called fake ramp or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But both players opening quite standard. Normal gas timing coming from Terran, so he's not going for a Rax expand. And we're going to get first scout, so things are looking good. And no Zealot coming out of Crane either, so we are playing this just about as standard as possible. Although, as I say that, a second gateway comes down, coinciding perfectly with the SUV getting in Crane's main base. So Sabbath is going to scout this ahead of time, and he's going to be able to prepare for it exactly how he wants to, which most likely means that he's going to get siege mode and get up eBay after that. So a little bit of a disadvantage for Crane here. 2-gate can be quite a good build if you're able to do crippling damage with like 2-gate goon. You can just overwhelm the Terran if you're able to snipe their first tank, but it's a build that hinges quite a bit on the Terran not being prepared, and obviously when you get fully scouted like this, Terran will have all the time in the world to prepare. So as long as Sabbath is going to respond properly to this and not panic, not overcommit, not overdefend. He's going to be able to get a great lead going into the mid game. But he should exit with this SCV before the Goon pops out. But the SCV is glitching out, so he's going to actually possibly just lose this first SCV, which isn't great. You really need a lot of scouting intel against Protoss players when they're going for 2-gate like this.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you think if it gets scouted too easily, it's something you shouldn't commit on, or do you think the Protoss should still try to do something? Maybe
I think it's okay, because, okay, so from here, Terran has to play quite defensively. Terran players don't know at this point if it's going to be just regular 2-gate Goon into a Nexus. A lot of the time, what Protoss players like to do is they go for this 2-gate Goon pressure and then they double expand behind it, because Terran is playing so defensive, so safe, that they won't be able to punish that quick third a lot of the time. Because yeah, as Terran, you don't know what's happening here. Are they going 2-gate Goon into expand? Are they going for 2-gate DP rush? Are they just going to proxy some stuff right next to your base? We don't really know. So we're going to have to play super defensively here. We see an Academy coming out. Interesting choice. I wonder what this is for. Oh, he's going for medics?
What?
Okay. And we're going for 2 more barracks.
Tell me about this, you know, what is this? I've never seen Marines.
Yeah, it looks like we're going for a Marine medic timing here with some siege tanks. I don't know how I feel about this. We know our opponent's going for 2-gates, so we know they're going to be producing quite a bit of units here. I think we could have just safely taken an expansion with siege mode, but he decides he wants to kind of put on some pressure on his opponent. One good thing about this is that we can get Marine range, and so these goons will not be able to outrange the bunker once that Marine range finishes.
But then he knows.
And we get a rescout from Terran, so Terran sees exactly what Protoss is doing, just nonstop goon production off 2-gates.
I mean, I have seen people use M&M before, but...
but look at this, actually. Crane is massively supply blocked right now.
And he's moving out with the goons.
Yeah, 3 goons were queued, and he's still not making a pylon, so he's still supply blocked. So the longer this goes on, the worse it gets. And, oh, we have a huge commitment. Goons diving on top of the Marines and tanks, but I don't think he was expecting that many Marines behind it, so he's going to lose all of his goons for nothing. Gets 1 tank for his troubles, and combined with that huge supply block, there's a huge timing opportunity for Sabbath to just go across the map and kill his opponent right now. His opponent has nothing. He has 2 goons producing out of a gateway, but I don't know if he knows that.
I'm thinking this is kind of a blessing that he went for the Marines, because he wouldn't have had anything else, right? If it was a normal situation.
If he hadn't gone for Marines, he would have just gotten siege there, and he would have been totally fine. So.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know if I fully agree. And we see the stim coming out now, but it feels like it's really late. I don't know how I feel about this build for Terran.
I mean, it looks like he's going to move out anytime. Oh.
Yeah, he's pulling some SCVs to go with this push, so he's going to try and hit right when stim finishes. And what do we have for Protoss? 3 goons, 4th rallying across the map, 5th rallying across the map. That's not enough to fight this army, I can tell you that. It's all coming down to unit control here, though. We're going to see how good Crane's stutter step micro is. So far, pretty good. And also, this tank is just a little bit vulnerable right now in front of the army instead of behind it where it should be. So if Crane wants to, he can just dive on top of this tank. It looks like that's what he's going for. 4 goons, 2-shot the tank. But only
so close.
Go off, and we lose a goon for it. So with the stim across the map, Protoss is in a lot of trouble here. Here comes the 2nd tank rallying across the map. Oh, with this high ground goon, actually it could just move up and... no. It could have just sniped the tank here, but I think Protoss, honestly, might just die here. What does he have? 5 goons? 6 goons?
It's
against
2
like
shield
a
batteries.
whole army. Yeah, 2 shield batteries will certainly help here, but there's so much Marine Medic coming across the map right now. Goons just don't trade well against Marine Medic at all. And it looks like our final engagement is going to happen right now. Marines stimming in. The tanks are a little bit far forward, but that's so much DPS coming out. The goons are just getting shredded right now. They're going to start popping one at a time, no problem. And there's just not enough Protoss here to defend against this. This unorthodox Marine Medic push looks like it's just going to end up ending the game immediately. And Sabbath just commanding lead here, demolishing all of the probes, all of the goons. GG is called. And Sabbath with a surprising 2-0 victory over Crane.
Yeah, really convincing, and congratulations. You know, the tier 0 King has been crowned.
Sabbath is the champ with some seriously decisive timing pushes. Well played.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, those 2 games were rather short compared to the others, and really decisive as well. Although, considering that they have fought it out before in this tournament, it probably was a back and forth. Anyway, those were all the games we had today. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Go ahead and congratulate those players for winning. You know, your new kings, especially if they are in your tier. You know. Thanks for all the follows, and yeah, have a good night. Thanks, Father, as well.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for watching. Congrats to all the players.
All right, bye.